After over a year of concurrently leading the Agriculture Department, President Bongbong Marcos has appointed his successor, fishing tycoon Francisco Tiu Laurel Jr. Laurel is the president of family-owned Frabel Fishing Corporation, a deep-sea fishing company supplying fresh, frozen, and processed seafood products to domestic and international markets. As a computer science graduate, Laurel started working for the company in the engineering division before moving into its sales department. He eventually took over the company as president when he was only 28 years old. Laurel was also reported to be one of Marcos's top donors in the 2022 elections. He would later be appointed to Marcos's Private Sector Advisory Council. Now that he's the head of the DA, Laurel said he will prioritize modernization and increasing local production in the agriculture sector.
Well, ang hingin ko lang sa kanila talaga sa ngayon is their full cooperation dahil importanteng buo ang departamento sa isang goal, no, which is basically modernization at increase of production. Yan ho ang marching orders sa atin ni Presidente.
An experienced dairy farmer, investment banker, and civic leader, Danilo Fausto serves as the president of the Philippine Chamber of Agriculture and Food Incorporated. He is also the president and CEO of the family-run business DVF Dairy Farm in Nueva Ecija. Fausto has garnered several recognitions for his experience in the agriculture sector, including the Presidential Award for Agriculture in 2010. Engineer Rosendo So is the president of the Samahang Industriya ng Agrikultura or Cignal. He is also the chairman of Abono Party List.
Okay, gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Cito, magandang umaga.
Magandang umaga, Cito, at sa iyong mga taga-subaybay.
Okay, umpisahan ko na kasendong kay Danny, kay Sir Fausto. Dan, nadinig naman yun ni Kasendong yung emphasis ni Secretary Laurel. Ang mahalaga po ay cooperation at magtulong-tulong. Now, ano ang reaction ng dairy sector, investment bankers in agriculture, Mr. Fausto?
Definitely will be behind him, supporting him. Especially nag-uumpisa siya, we have to give him a chance to lead, no, and run the department. We will have some suggestions and recommendations. I hope he will consider it, not only in dairy but in all agricultural sectors that the chamber is belonging to, no? All our members. So we will continue to communicate with him, and hopefully we will be able to support whatever his program and vision and goals, and also as per the directive of the president. So medyo motherhood statement, but we have detailed suggestions and recommendations. It's quite long, but we hope to relay this to him and communicate this to him, Cito.
Okay, Rosendo, what is your reaction to the appointment of Kiko Laurel, and what are your hopes?
Yeah, Cito, of course, ang ano natin is welcome natin ang appointment ni Secretary Kiko Laurel, no? And we hope na siyempre ang direction, ang negosyo niya is nasa fishing dati. And ang learning curve niya is yung livestock, poultry, and of course ang crop, no? Yun ang kailangan niyang tutukan. Sa fishery, we don't think na kailangan niyang masyadong may alam na siya eh. Gamay na niya yun. Pero sa crop and livestock and poultry or inland farming, ito ang dapat talagang tutukan dahil ito is around 75% ng ating agriculture nandito eh. So, yun ang nakikita natin na kailangan tutukan.
Okay, just as a reminder, gentlemen, free for all tayo ngayong umaga. and I give you the platform. So wala nang hindi ko kayo yung question answer. Okay, but Danny, matanong ko lang Mr. Fausto, okay? Because sa poultry and piggery, alam naman to ni Kasendong, hindi na kailangan i-memorize. We know how to run our industry. We know how to take care of our businesses, etc. But in the dairy sector, to this day, parang ano pa rin kayo parang parang pioneering field. There's very little investment in the dairy sector compared to other countries. What are you hoping in terms of the statement, modernization and increased productivity? Will it come from the private sector, or is it something that has to come from the Department of Agriculture?
Salamat Chito, no? For 44 years, they're already starting a law for the development of the dairy industry, and nothing has happened, no? Tingnan mo na lang yung budget ng National Dairy Authority, 230 million out of the 5.7 trillion na budget, no? Philippine Carabao Center, almost 500 million. Saan pupulutin yung mga ahensya na yan? Yung pampasweldo lang sa mga tao, wala pa, no? Yung attention na binibigay sa dairy, we have imported $1.6 billion of milk and milk products last year. We have 2.8 million carabaos, but only 19,000 is dairy type, no? Hindi man pwede yung native. Nagpo-produce lang kalahating litro lang ang production ng native. Yung cow natin, nasa 2.6 million ang ating cattle, but only 27,000 lang ang ating dairy type. No, saan ka kukuha? Hindi mo naman pwedeng gatasan ng poste o mga puno, no? We really need to improve our dairy herd. If we are talking about the demand, we're consuming about 27 liters per day per capita. We will need about at least 1 million cow on the line, on the milk line, and that means about 3 million dairy animals herd, no? Out of that, we have only 46,000 lang yung dairy herd natin. 3 million ang kailangan mo. Saan ka pupulutin dyan? Import tayo. Not even 1%. Not even 1% of our requirement is being produced in this country. For the past 44 years, ganyan yung sitwasyon. Hindi nakikita ng ating administrasyon kung anong naitutulong ng dairy sa mga farmers, income. Kung bibigyan mo nga ng isang baka, isang kalabaw na ginagatasan ng isang magsasaka, wala nang mahirap sa atin, kumikita ng 10 to 15,000 per month, gatas lang.
Okay,
well, that's dairy, ano?
Yeah, Sir Danny, sandali lang Kasendong, I just want to pursue this point. Danny, you're saying that we need about 3 million dairy cows or dairy animals, etc., carabaos. But do we have the land area for it? Because for the longest time, yung mga naysayers o yung mga kontrabida ba, sinasabi nila, puro kayo dairy, wala naman tayong pastulan sa Pilipinas.
We have about 3.6 million hectares of coconut areas. In between coconut areas, about 8 to 10 meters on differential. We can have dairy integrated in that coconut area. There are also other areas or government lands that can be used, no? Meron namang sistema, modern type of system. Kung ang Israel nga nagpo-produce at nag-export ng gaano ba kalaking Israel versus the Philippines, ano? That can be done. Yung mga cut and carry and every modernized system, we can do that. Hindi lang nakikita ng mga tao kung paano kahalagahan itong gatas.
Okay, yung last question before I go to Kasendong, Danny. You were mentioned, sabi mo, if we gave 1 cow per family, wala nang poor na family kasi sa baka pa lang, kikita na sila ng 10 to 15,000 sa gatas. Now, how much land will a farmer need, or what would be the rule na kailangan minimum land area bago ka namin bigyan ng baka?
Alam mo, Sito, sa atin, sa mga kanayunan, sa mga barangay, pinapasto lang nila sa likod ng bahay nila yan. At sinasakatihan, ano? O sa mga gilid ng mga paligi, sa mga patuto, tsaka pwede ka magsakate at bigyan ng pagkain ng mga kalabaw at baka. Pagka naman umani ka na ng palay, pwede mo na ipastol yan, i-graze mo na sila. Maraming paraan, hindi masyado. Ang isang pamilya, kaya niya mag-alaga kahit mga 10 baka o
Okay.
kalabaw.
Bigla mo akong binigyan ng idea. Okay. Puntahan natin si Kasendong naman. Kasendong, you've represented poultry and piggery. You're more piggery, correct?
Yeah, poultry, livestock and poultry, no? Yun ang ano natin.
Okay, ngayon, sabi ko na nga, hindi mo na kailangan i-memorize paano magparami ng manok at baboy, but in terms of what Secretary Kiko Laurel said, modernization and increased productivity, what would be the magic?
Yeah, Sito, ang challenge kasi ngayon is sa livestock and poultry ngayon is yung sakit yung ASF, yung bird flu. So, ang kinausap natin si Senator Cito Beltran para magkaroon ng collection sa tariff, no? Yun ang isang direction na nakikita natin para yearly automatic yung tariff correction mapunta sa livestock and dairy, no? Pati dairy kasama yan. Kasama rin ang poultry. So, parang rice tarification system ng rice. So, yung makolekta na tariff na in-import natin na gatas from other countries, pork and chicken, ito is lahat mapupunta agad sa livestock poultry. Para at least automatically may pondo agad yung industriya. Yun ang nakikita natin makakatulong.
Okay, I wrote an article in the Philippine Star today kung saan sinabi ko na kailangan baguhin natin ang approach dito sa sitwasyon ng may bagong kalihim ng agrikultura. And I said that rather than impose on him our agenda, our grievances, etc., we need to come to the table and tell the secretary, this is what we are willing to do. This is how we are willing to help. Kayo sa SINAG, what are you willing to do and how can you help the incoming secretary to achieve his goals, the president goals, as well as yours?
Yeah, ang member kasi natin from seed growing, no? Mga seed grower, ibig sabihin yung mga nagpo-produce ng local seeds natin, kasama natin. Yung hybrid seeds, member din natin, no, ng palay. Kasi ang tingin natin, ito ang dapat tutukan dahil for the past 3 years, talagang bumagsak ang ating local production. And kung makita mo yung internationally, yung pagtaas ng presyo ng staple food, maski last administration, ang direction is importation. Ngayon, mukhang nakikita nila, hindi yun ang solusyon. Yung local production pa rin. So, ito is through Congressman Eskimo Estrella ng Abono Party List, kasi kamabatan naman niya si Secretary, i-ano namin yung meeting, tapos ibibigay natin yung cards ng kung paanong ma-achieve yung self-sufficiency ulit natin and tulungan ang livestock and poultry para at least umangat, no? Ang problema sa dairy, I think, Sito, nung ang San Miguel pumasok din siya sa dairy, nag-surrender din si Nanding, no? Dahil yung production ng dairy dapat silage. Hindi pwede yung ilagay mo lang sa backyard yan, no? Kasi yung milk production, kailangan ng nutrient na kakainin and malaki ang kailangan natin dyan is siguro yung cooperative, no, na gawin na mas malaki. And yung feeding talaga dapat i-concentrate, ibigay sa mga magsasaka para at least lumaakas ang production natin ng milk. Kasi ang production natin ng milk is around 12 liters, 8 to 12 liters. Ang production ng Israel is 25 to 30 liters, no? And other countries, so dapat yun ang habulin natin sa dairy. And sa other, binabantayan talaga natin is yung ASF dun sa sa baboy, and yung sa chicken is yung bird flu na yung
Okay.
it's
Matanong ko lang, Kasendong. I mean, in this situation, because if you go back in history, this kind of conversation, these discussions have taken place every year, every decade, no? And parang walang nangyayari sa atin. But kayo ba sa private sector, sa sinag, in hog, in dairy, in poultry, can you do things on your own, or talagang hindi kayo pwede kasi may malaking mga balakid, or there are obstacles or government requirements that prevent you from being self-sufficient and independent? Because both of you and Danny, you can join in, you're both referring to Israel. What are they doing that's right, and what is happening in the Philippines that's wrong?
Yeah. Okay, Danny.
Yeah. We cannot rely only on internal demand, no? Sa internal market. That's why yung ating grupo sa chamber, karamihan dyan agribusiness, no? And we are our export cluster groups also is included. You asked earlier kung anong maitagawa namin, ano? We can provide the market. Ang problema yung raw materials, yung supply. If the government, we can synchronize the demand in the international market, kasi mahirap yung magko-commit ka sa ating mga buyers abroad pero wala ka naman supply. Let's take for example durian, no? Kumuha ka ng demand sa durian sa China. Wala naman tayong durian dito na ganun karami, no? So nagkakandaho, kumahog tayo magplant ng durian. Yung ibang mga kakao trees nga pinapatay, pinapalitan ng durian, which is not supposed to be the case. So kailangan nakasynchronize yung planning has to be on a medium and long term, para kasi yung mga trees are giving you fruits 3-5 years. Mga even coconut can give you only fruits at that period of time. Siguro yung mga crops, yung mga green leafy vegetables, mabilis, ano? So meron kang short term na production, meron kang medium at meron kang long term. Yun dapat ang tingnan. So therefore we are requesting the new secretary to take a look at the different roadmaps that prepared before. I-review yan, i-update, para kasi without the plan, saan ka pupunta, no? Para kang tumatakbo ng 120 kilometers sa kadiliman ng gabi na walang headlight, no? Ganun ang mangyayari sa iyo diyan. And we will continue to support him and be able to provide the value chain, ano? In synchronization with the production on the ground, Cito.
Okay, Kasendong, you were going to say something.
Yeah. For the past year, ang sinabi mo nga yung livestock and itong pork and chicken, hindi naman mostly private sector oriented yan, no? Pero ngayon ang nangyari is dahil dun sa sakit nga, kaya kailangan natin suporta from our government. And one thing the private sector did is to provide an area, yung first border inspection, na tinatayo na, no? Ang private sector ang nagtatayo nun without any cost from our government. Ang construction is going on, and ang target natin is by next year, no, June. Pero of course yung mga testing, kailangan ng government ang pumasok doon. So yun ang gagastusin ng ating gobyerno. Yung ano naman yung private sector tumutulong sa ating gobyerno. Pero siyempre ngayon dahil yung sakit na nakikita natin, kailangan na tumulong din ang ating government sa sector ng pork and etong chicken. Sa tingin naman natin, yung communication with the new secretary will be good, and we'll suggest kung anong kailangan gawin para at least gumanda ang ating agrikultura, and we don't depend on import, and dapat napatunayan na yan yung sa rice, no? Dati ang past administration ang sinasabi, mag-import lang tayo, okay na yan. Nakita mo naman yung pagtaas ng presyo ng imported compared dito sa local. So, kailangan pa rin natin yung local production para at least lumawak ang ating production.
Okay, we'll go for a quick break, gentlemen, and when we come back, I'd like to pursue yung sinabi ni Mr. Fausto, ni Danny, regarding raw materials, feeds, etc. And that, I think, is something where the government can come in, even for CNAG regarding duties and taxes, etc. We'll go for a quick break. We'll be right back here on Agenda.
Several senators have lauded the designation of businessman Francisco Tiu Laurel Jr. as Secretary of the Agriculture Department. Senator Cheese Escudero commended President Bongbong Marcos for finally choosing a full-time agriculture secretary, adding that Laurel has extensive exposure and knowledge in fishing and agriculture. Senator Alan Peter Cayetano likewise welcomed the appointment of Laurel, calling it a timely one. Cayetano also said that Laurel's appointment also comes at a critical time for the country as the agriculture industry faces pressing challenges, including persistent productivity issues and rising prices. Senator Sonny Angara is hoping that the new Agri Secretary will focus on boosting local productivity and helping local producers. Senate Minority Leader Coco Pimentel, on the other hand, wanted to remind the new DA-SEC of the constitutional requirement for divestment from business interests and cabinet members. This as Laurel served as president of Frabel Fishing Corporation. Lastly, Senator Grace Poe is hoping that Laurel can take to heart the president's warning in the SONA against smugglers, hoarders, and price fixers. She added the need for a lasting agri program that will increase production and improve the lives of farmers. Let's discuss these on today's agenda.
Okay, there is no doubt in my mind that Secretary Francisco Laurel or Francisco Kiko Laurel has many friends in the Senate and in Congress, not to mention Malacanang. The question now is, what should be the legislative agenda of Secretary Laurel and the Department of Agriculture once they get their ball rolling? Danny Fausto, please start the conversation again.
Yeah, thank you, Cito. Bago siya lumabas, ang tingin namin, tingnan muna niya yung bahay niya, no? I think there's a need to reorganize and professionalize the Department of Agriculture and give these people na mga staff niya doon motivation and parang encouragement to really implement what is being in the plan, ano? Because kung hindi maayos yung bahay mo, paano mo i-implement lahat yung gusto mong mangyari? and then the legislative will take some time. But I think there are some provisions and policies that can be done with executive order, legislative order, powers vested on the president. Ano? While we are doing a legislative agenda, there are several in the list. Kung isa-isahin natin, marami masyado.
Yung ano lang, yung top 3 mo lang.
Oh, yeah, mukha ng review ng RTL. Kailangan, kasi by law, after 3 years, kaya reviewin yan. Tingnan mo rin yung ating coconut industry, yung pera na pinamigay dyan. 16 agencies ang naghati-hati dyan. Tapos na yung 3 taon, wala pa tayong nakikitang accomplishment dyan sa coconut industry.
Which is sad because ako nakinabang ako doon sa pamigay nilang mga dwarf coconuts na natikman ko na this weekend. So after so many years, well, it's clear that if somebody makes an effort, the program can succeed. Imbis na yung mga puno mo 40, 50 feet ang taas. Baka naman 30 feet lang.
Do you know, Cito, that we have 347 million trees? Half of that has to be replaced. We are one of the biggest and numbers of trees in the world. And yet, we are the #1 importer of copra. Alam mo ba yan? Na nag-i-import tayo ng copra while we have the most number of trees. There's something really wrong about how we do things, especially yung value chain, yung pag-aayos ng mga copra para makarating sa coconut mills. Ano? Hindi natin pwedeng pabayaan yung coconut farmers. Almost 1/3 of our farmers in the coconut industry. At ang daming magagawa ng coconut industry sa coconut trees and areas. May intercropping ka, pwede ka magtanim ng kakao, coffee, dairy. Ang dami mong intercropping na pwedeng gawin dyan. Ang laki-laki ng lupa, 3.6 million hectares ang nandiyan dyan. Pwede nating i-capitalize yan para matulungan natin at ma-improve yung ating paggalago sa agrikultura. We need diversification. Rice-centric tayo eh. Lahat ng ating budget nasa rice. Magkano ang budget ng high-value crops? 1.5 billion. Ang rice nasa almost about 80-90 billion ang budget. Kasama irrigation, isasama natin irrigation dyan. Of course, it's a political sensitive commodity, yung rice. Pero pag meron kang plato, kumain ka, hindi lang bigas ang rice ang ulam mo. Meron kang kailangan ulam, meron kang gulay, meron kang sabaw.
Yeah.
He needs to produce agricultural products that is good for diet, good balanced diet and nutrition, because we eat for nutrition. So, ang kanyang focus is not only one product. It has to be a caboodle of products that will be giving us for nutrition. And that is affordable.
So, you're talking about going back, reviewing the rice tariffication law, reviewing all of the billions of pesos released to the Philippine Coconut Authority and all of its agencies. Ano yung last mo?
16. Yung ating review talaga yung sa organisasyon mismo ng DA. Tingnan muna niya yung mga roadmaps na ginawa. I-review yan and i-update yan para without failure to plan is to plan for failure. Alam natin yon. Kailangan natin sundan ng isang plano para alam natin kung saan tayo tutungo, mga roadmaps.
Okay, I'm going to use that in our quotations in the future. Kasendong, ikaw naman, if the secretary were to ask you, what should his legislative agenda or what should his first top 3 movements be?
Yeah, gastusin yung pera na nasa DA. No? Imagine Cito, may 12.7 billion tayo na yung sa tariff collection ng rice. No? Up to now, yung 5,000 per hectare, hindi pa binibigay sa mga magsasaka. Nasa DA na yung mga pondo. No? Yung fertilizer subsidy, yung mga dealer, yung mga sumali dun sa programa, 2 buwan na, hindi pa binabayaran. Pero yung pondo nasa Department of Agriculture. So, ibig sabihin, yung pondo nasa loob ng department na yan. Pero hindi nila ginagastos. Binibigay sa tamang paraan.
Ang nadinig ko from them, nung tinamaan ako ng ASF at nag-claim ako ng ano ba yun, yung compensation package, kanya raw hindi nare-release yung mga pondo kasi hindi raw nire-release ng DBM. Kumbaga para pasa-sisi ang nangyari during that time, in the previous administration. Now, is this still the scheme na when people go to the DA, they always blame another agency or another department?
Yeah, yung pondo kasi ng subsidy doon sa fertilizer and yung sa seeds, no? Nasa ano na yan, nasa Department of Agriculture na yan. And of course, itong sa yung sa 5,000 pesos per hectare para sa cash na ibibigay sa magsasaka. In-announce ni Presidente yan last month na ibibigay na. Pero mukhang ang DA ang may problema dyan. And yung sa coconut, di ba, yung budget nandun naman eh. Yung sa coconut, ang sa tingin natin kailangan maglagay siya ng mga seedling area like Northern Luzon. May yung ano nga, yung private sector magdo-donate na lang ng area for them. Hindi pa nila malagay seed bank, no? So, yun ang kailangan natin kasi kung yung tanim natin galing Mindanao, dinadala rito yung mga puno.
Okay.
Ang gas Luzon, no? So, dapat dito sa Luzon natin i-ano diyan,
Okay. Final question, Kasendong, Danny, no? But I promise we're going to have a part 2, part 3, part 4 because kailangan talaga malagyan ng focus ang agriculture because it has more potential than tourism, etc. But my final question is, would you guys be willing to join in a parang 2-day, 3-day workshop or whatever? Kasi I remember during the Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, nauso yung yung parang sama-sama and you will sit down in one place, parang Davos ba? You will sit in one place for 3 days and identify what are the major directions that we can all adopt and work together and paano mabibigay yung mga assignments. I'll start with you, Danny.
Well, we are always willing to participate, especially strategic planning. We have done this before. Ginawa natin yan, panahon ni Alcala and so on. Pero wala rin nangyari sa pinag-usapan. Bottom line is yung pera. Kung ngayon may konting budget na, the important thing there is the people who will implement it on the ground. As you know, kung titingnan mo yung datos, not more than 5% ang investment ng gobyerno sa production ng agriculture. 95% is private. Tingnan mo, 1.7 trillion ang ating production ng lahat ng sektor. And yet, what is the budget? 150 billion and something. So, anong mapapala natin dyan? So, we really need to have the private sector on board. Kung hindi niya gagamitin yan at gagamitin lang niya, for example, magaling siya yung nagpatakbo ng corporate ng mga kumpanyang malalaki at bilyonaryo siya. He has the experience, but he needs the participation of all parties, stakeholders. And we are willing to join and participate. Hopefully, this time may mangyari sa pag-uusapan.
Okay. Siguro may mangyayari kung bawat isa sa inyo may assignment and reporting directly to the Secretary. Kasendong, last word with you.
Yeah. Ang grupo naman palaging may meetings at Department of Agriculture. Ang problema is dapat tingnan nila yung view ng private sector. Kung makita natin ang private sector naman mostly driven by private sector ang livestock and poultry. Except, of course, yung rice talagang kailangan ng suporta sa ating mga magsasaka. Up to now, dahil ito is yung mga farm maliliit. So kailangan natin suportahan pa rin yan. And yung setup meeting, inaayos namin after yung meeting namin with Senate and Congress. May next week may meeting kami with Senator Cynthia Villar, and of course, si Martin Berga, para at least si Congressman Martin Berga, para at least maayos yung smuggling law, no, na nakabilbil, and of course, yung budget for next year.
Okay, well, Kasendong, Danny Fausto, thank you very much. And I hope kahit papano nakakatulong ang agenda sa pagbigay ng focus sa agriculture, and please do make yourself available. And kung merong developments, tawagan nyo lang po kami, let us know, because we want to push for agriculture development in the country. And we wish both of you well, live long and prosper.
Thank you, Manong Cito.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, we'll go for a quick break. That's Danny Fausto, investment banker and dairy, hindi siya dairy queen, dairy king. And also Rosendo So of Cignal, these are the two gentlemen that have now been in the forefront of promoting agriculture. And when we come back, the third man, kumbaga, para silang three kings, ano? The third man, Leonardo Montemayor, hopefully will be able to join us, because he was the one who always hoped for better things under the Marcos administration. We'll be right back here on Agenda.
Leonardo Montemayor is the chairman of the Federation of Free Farmers. Prior to this, he was congressman for the ABA party list. Montemayor was also an agriculture secretary, serving during the term of former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo.
Good morning, Leonardo. Welcome back to the program Agenda.
Thank you very much, Casito. Good morning also to our viewers.
Okay, Leonardo, we have a new Secretary of Agriculture, Francisco Tiu Laurel. What is your reaction to his appointment?
Well, first of all, we welcome the appointment of a secretary who will be full-time. Now, in the case of Secretary Tiu Laurel, of course, we wish him all the best. We wish him all success, because his success will mean also the success of the entire sector. And at the same time, Cito, we hope, and in fact, we call on him to make sure that he will be able to work closely with the various stakeholders, especially those who are often not given sufficient attention. In this case, our small farmers and our municipal fisherfolk, as well as other disadvantaged subsectors in agriculture.
Okay, now in my column today in the Philippine Star, I pointed out that there is a need to change the approach and engagement with the Secretary of Agriculture and the DA which should depart from the past where we always complain, we're always pushing for our respective agendas or concerns, kumbaga kanya-kanya, and that the industry has become nothing more than tribes na without a voice and without force. Now, what is your group, the Federation of Free Farmers, willing to do to at least move things forward and to help the new secretary?
Yeah, that is a very timely reminder from you, Cito, that the problems in agriculture and fisheries are so immense that no single individual or group can address them and in an effective manner. So it really needs the teamwork of each and every one. Now, on the part of our organization, the Federation of Free Farmers, we have always taken a position that as we see problems in the sector, we take time to validate the issues and to submit very concrete recommendations. So hindi lang po kami, Sito, pumupuna. With every criticism, we make sure that we offer some kind of an alternative or solution. Otherwise, magiging kwan lang mga farmers natin, mga fisher folk natin, they will just become, again, very, yung nasasayangan sila, or they become masyado ng kwan ba, desperate, or even, in some cases, even hopeless. So we have to give hope. But to do that, we have to offer our constructive criticism as well as concrete remedies.
Yeah, okay. What concrete remedies can you come up? Because you personally, on your own, you become congressman of a party list group representing agriculture. You have been secretary of agriculture. Those two positions force you to make personal sacrifices and dedicate or devote your personal time to the greater cause. Now, napansin ko lang doon sa column na sinabi ko nga doon sa column na sinulat ko that there are, I don't know, I'm going to offend some of my friends, but parang kulang na kulang tayo sa legitimate representation in Congress. Genuine champions of agriculture with, sa dami ng sector ng agriculture, parang konting-konti ang mga tunay na party list for agriculture and tunay na congressman for agriculture.
Yeah, I think you are correct, Sito, on that point. Nakakalungkot nga, no? Kasi yung sistema kasi ng party list was supposed to give a platform for real or legitimate sectoral interests to be in the House of Representatives. Unfortunately, masyado na pong kumbaga na bastos na bastardize yung party list system. Kung sino-sino pwedeng umupo dyan, and very few really are able to articulate and work for the interests, especially of the, in this case, our farmers and fisher folk. In the case of the district representatives, I'm also disappointed, Sito, kasi those congressmen, halimbawa, and congresswomen who represent largely rural agricultural constituencies, for example, rice in the case of Central Luzon, and many parts in Central Mindanao, or coconut, and so on, medyo tahimik when it comes to the large issues that affect the those particular constituents of theirs in those particular agricultural sectors. Like itong review of rice tarification law na binanggit kanina ni Danny, very few members of Congress are really raising that or even express interest in at least a review. Nakapagtatanga pa nga, Sito, of all people, ang kumausap pa namin sa amin fairly recently, si Congressman Benny Abante ng Manila.
Ng Manila?
Yes. Kasi sabi ni Benny, naintindihan ko na konektado yung kapakanan ng ating magsasaka, lalo sa palay, at saka yung aking constituent sa urban. So he was very interested in fact, he wanted even to file a bill with our help to amend the rice tarification law to cure some of the defects in that law. So talagang nakakalungkot, nakaka-disappoint po. Yung kulang po talaga ang nagbo-voice out ng problema ng aming sektor sa House of Representatives.
Okay, now napag-usapan naman yung rice tarification law, billions given to different agencies of the DA that should be accounted for, programs that have not been reviewed or are deemed failure but continue to exist. Pero wala po sa inyong pumupuna, or no one has pointed out that devolution of local government devolved many of the services of the Department of Agriculture, but none of those services are being delivered or performed by local government units.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with you there, Cito. Actually, when you were talking earlier with Danny and Sendo, nilista ko na yung mga issues na gusto ko nang erase. Isa talaga itong devolution. Because since that law took effect, and the local government code took effect in 1991, we have seen really a deterioration in the provision of extension and technical advice to our farmers under the current setup. Nung nawala po yung technician sa ilalim po ng Department of Agriculture at napunta sa bawat mga alkalde o gobernador, karamihan po sad to say, karamihan po ng ating LGU executives, hindi po agriculture ang prioridad. At kung saan po na-assign mga technicians, iba dyan, security guards sa palengke, and so on, ang daming mga horror stories na ganyan. And yet, really the source of, I think, wealth and development in many areas in the Philippines really depend on agriculture and fisheries. Kaya lang, hindi po nabibigyan ng sapat attention. So I really would suggest a thorough review of this devolution insofar as the technicians are concerned.
Okay, now as far as your group, the Federation of Free Farmers, are concerned, what would be your number one concern or something that you would like to share with the new secretary, especially since I remember distinctly, you were the only one who was cautiously optimistic with Ferdinand Marcos for agriculture. Ngayon, ano yung now that we have a secretary, what would you like to see happen?
Siguro, Sito, ang babanggitin ko rito, among other things, no? Yung kasi given the fact that si Kiko Laurel is a logistics guy, no? I'm sure hindi lang sa production or fish capture ang kanyang experience, all the way down the supply chain or value chain to retail. How can we improve our logistics system such that the farmers get or fisherfolk get a decent price naman for their primary product, and then pagdating naman sa consumer, affordable naman yung presyo po ng manok. I was really just yesterday kausap ko si Bong Insyong ng Urban Broiler Association. Sabi ni Bong sa akin, Sito, ang manok ngayon, yung bagong katay na manok sa farm gate, 80 to 90 pesos per kilo. And yet, pag pupunta po tayo sa wet market o sa mga supermarkets, doble yung presyo So bakit ganon? Ano magagawa ni Secretary Laurel para naman i-reduce naman yung masyadong malaki ang patong o margins from the farm gate or sa fish gate all the way to the retail. So dapat talaga usisain yung distribution system, handling, di ba? Retail procedures and so on. Importante yung may mga kotong ba dyan, di ba? Pagdaan sa mga LGUs, maraming bawas dyan. In some cases, mga police, nag-extortion and so on. All this create a lot of additional charges for which in many cases, farmers lang po parang sinisisi. Hindi naman kasalanan ng farmer, mura na nga sa bukid, bakit mahal naman pagdating sa retail? So, we're looking at, for example, using digital technology para, example na lang Sito, no?
Yeah.
Actually, matagal na namin proposal to with the NFA. Magdideposit yung farmers sa Cotabato ng kanyang palay sa bodega ng NFA. NFA issues him the necessary warehouse receipt or whatever documents. And then, pag mas maganda po yung presyo ng bigas sa Metro Manila, he will now authorize the NFA, our farmer in Cotabato, to unload from their bodega in wherever, Metro Manila or Central Luzon, in rice form to take advantage of the good prices for rice. Napakadali naman gawin yun in this age of electronic or digital technology.
Parang warehousing and inventory system
Yeah,
lang
yeah.
naman.
Yeah.
Ayun.
You use the warehouse receipts, go to the bank, you can get additional financing for
Okay.
future and that sort. And then again on the logistics side, meron po kaming proposal na together with the Philippine Trackway Corporation under an investment banker si Francis Yuseco na utilize our decommissioned railways under PNR. For
Ayun,
example,
okay.
at saka yung Panay Railways in Panay
Yeah.
na gaang sa concept, the major concept here is hindi na ginagamit yung relays. In fact, in many cases, wala nang relays.
Okay, ganito na lang,
Yeah,
Calyoni, no? Kasi today's episode is really an introductory and gathering of reaction to the new
Okay.
secretary. But what we will do is through the week, if our schedule permits, we hope to invite you and other stakeholders para magkaroon ng thorough and consistent conversation regarding agriculture. Because itong episode lang na ito, ang dami nang naglabasan. So we hope to continue with this. Leonardo Montemayor, thank you very much, sir.
Welcome, Cito. I look forward to the next episodes.
Okay, God bless you, sir. Okay, that's Leonardo Montemayor. And now let's go to our closing blessing for the day. Reminder for all of you. It is from the book of Nehemiah, chapter 8, verse 10. Then he said to them, "Go your way, eat the fat and drink sweet wine, and send portions to anyone who has nothing ready. For this day is holy to our Lord, and do not be grieved, for the joy of the Lord is your strength." Every day, okay, is a day that we should dedicate to the Lord and be glad and grateful for. I'm Cito Beltran, thanking you for joining us on this first day of the week, and I do hope you keep it here on One News. God bless you all.